right, deep divers, get ready to plunge into some seriously creepy waters, because today we're taking on the oarfish.
The oarfish.
And trust me,
Yeah.
this is not your average Nemo. We're talking about a deep sea serpent, longer than a bus, with shimmering silver scales, eerie translucent fins.
Right out of a nightmare.
Yeah, straight out of a nightmare. And to make it even creepier...
But it gets creepier.
Oh, it gets way creepier, because this fish has a seriously spooky reputation.
Okay.
The oarfish is known as the doomsday fish, said to be a harbinger of disaster. So buckle up, deep divers, because we're diving deep into the legend of the oarfish and counting down the top 10 wildest facts about this creature.
I am so ready for this.
Me too. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the recent sighting in Baja, Mexico. This thing just popped up, swimming around like it owns the place.
Well, it kind of does. This fish is a deep sea dweller, rarely seen near the surface. So when it does show up, people tend to freak out a little.
A little. I'd say a lot. I mean, remember those other recent sightings, like in California?
Oh, yeah, and Japan too.
Both followed by major earthquakes?
Interesting.
Yeah, coincidence?
Maybe.
Maybe. But who wants to take that chance?
Right.
Okay, so let's get into these top 10 facts and see what's really going on with this doomsday fish.
All right, fact number 10. Are you ready for this? The oarfish can grow up to a whopping 56 feet long.
That's longer than a school bus?
Longer than a bowling lane. Imagine this silver behemoth gliding through the dark depths.
It's enough to make your hair stand on end. All right, fact number 9.
Fact number 9. This fish is straight out of a horror movie. In Japanese folklore, oarfish are called messengers from the sea god's palace, and their appearance means one thing: disaster.
Disaster. Okay, so we're talking earthquakes.
Earthquakes, tsunamis, you name it.
And it's not just ancient myths, right?
Yeah.
Didn't a bunch of oarfish wash up in Japan right before that massive earthquake and tsunami in 2011?
You're absolutely right. It's like they were trying to warn us.
That's seriously spooky. Okay, what's fact number 8?
Fact number 8. Now, this is where things get a little tricky. Scientists are still scratching their heads over whether there's a real link between oarfish and these disasters.
Wait, hold on. So you're telling me this giant, creepy fish that shows up before earthquakes and tsunamis might not actually be connected to them?
Yeah, the science isn't quite there yet.
That's like saying a black cat crossing your path is just a coincidence.
Well, there's a lot we still don't know about the ocean and the creatures that live in it.
Okay, fair enough. But I'm still a little creeped out. All right, fact number 7. Hit me with it.
Fact number 7. Scientists believe that oarfish usually live thousands of feet below the surface in a world of crushing pressure and eternal darkness.
Thousands of feet. Whoa. That's deeper than I can even imagine.
It's a whole different world down there. They only come up when they're sick, injured, or dying, basically sending out their own SOS.
So they're like giant underwater canaries in a coal mine.
That's one way to put it.
Still pretty creepy.
Definitely.
Okay, fact number 6. Let's keep this creaky train rolling.
Fact number 6. What if they're not predicting disasters, but reacting to them?
Reacting to them?
Yeah, what if something down in the depths, something we can't even detect yet, is pushing them to the surface?
Like what?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Okay, now you're just messing with me. All right, fact number 5. Lay it on me.
Fact number 5. Remember those recent sightings we talked about? Mexico, California, Japan?
Yeah,
They all happened along the Ring of Fire.
the Ring of Fire.
Okay.
For those who haven't been keeping up with their geography, what exactly is the Ring of Fire?
Well, picture this. The Earth's crust is like a giant jigsaw puzzle, constantly shifting and grinding. The Ring of Fire is where all the action is. It's a zone around the Pacific Ocean, known for its intense volcanic and earthquake activity.
So basically a giant underwater volcano and earthquake factory.
Pretty much
And our friend the oarfish just happens to be hanging out right in the middle of it.
right in the middle of it.
This is getting intense.
Yeah.
All right, fact number 4. What's next?
Fact number 4. Imagine this. The oarfish, sensitive to subtle changes in pressure and vibrations deep below the surface, feels something we can't even fathom yet.
Okay, so they're like living seismographs picking up on all the tremors and rumbles before we do.
Exactly.
Whoa. And that's what sends them fleeing to the surface.
It's possible. Maybe they're trying to escape whatever's coming.
So it's not a warning, it's a last-ditch effort to survive.
Maybe.
And this just got a whole lot more intense.
It did, didn't it?
Put me with fact number 3.
Fact number 3. We're talking about earthquakes that could shake continents, tsunamis that could wipe out entire coastlines, and volcanic eruptions that could darken the skies for months.
Oh wow, this is some serious apocalyptic stuff.
And here's the kicker. We're not just talking about some far-off threat. Millions of people live along these fault lines, right in the bullseye of potential disaster zones.
Whoa, so we've got this creepy, gigantic fish that may or may not be a supernatural warning system, and it's popping up in places where millions of lives are at stake.
It's a pretty intense situation.
Intense is an understatement. This is way more intense than Shark Week.
I'd say so. But remember, folks, we're talking about possibilities here, not guarantees. The science is still out on the oarfish connection.
Okay, I need to take a deep breath. But even if the science isn't settled, those ancient legends about the doomsday fish are pretty convincing. Do any other cultures have stories about this freaky fish?
Absolutely. In some Polynesian cultures, the oarfish is seen as a guardian spirit, protecting fishermen and seafarers.
Whoa, that's a twist. So it's not all doom and gloom with this fish. In some cultures, it's actually a good omen.
Exactly. It just goes to show how differently we can view the same creature depending on our cultural lens. One culture's nightmare is another culture's protector.
Okay, my head is spinning. Giant sea serpents, ancient prophecies, potential mega disasters, and guardian spirits. This deep dive has it all. But even with all the legends and the spooky vibes, what I find most fascinating is how little we actually know about this creature.
You're right. The oarfish is like a puzzle from the abyss, and we're only just beginning to put the pieces together.
All right, time for a reality check. We've explored the myths and the potential connection to these catastrophic events, but what about the cold, hard facts? What exactly is going on in the Ring of Fire that might be freaking out our oarfish friends?
Well, picture this. Earth's crust is like a giant jigsaw puzzle, constantly shifting and grinding. The Ring of Fire is where the action really heats up. We're talking massive tectonic plates colliding, slipping, and buckling under immense pressure.
So the Ring of Fire is basically a giant slow-motion demolition derby happening right under our feet.
That's a great way to put it.
No wonder the oarfish might be a little on edge.
Exactly. Now imagine being a deep-sea creature like the oarfish, living in this pressure cooker of seismic activity. They might be picking up on subtle changes in the ocean floor, temperature fluctuations, or even electromagnetic signals that we can't detect.
Whoa. So they're not just reacting to what's already happening, they're sensing what's coming, like some kind of early warning system.
It's possible. We know some animals can sense earthquakes before they hit. Dogs barking, birds acting strangely, even fish jumping out of the water. Maybe the oarfish is doing the same thing, just on a much larger and deeper scale.
Okay, I'm back to being terrified again. But if these oarfish sightings are a sign of things to come, what can we do about it? Do we just sit here and wait for the big one?
Well, the good news is we're not completely helpless. Scientists are constantly working to better understand earthquake prediction and develop early warning systems. And we can all take steps to prepare for potential disasters.
Okay, so less doom scrolling and more prepping. That sounds like a plan. But what kind of things can we do to get ready?
First, know your risk. If you live in an earthquake-prone area, make sure your home is secured, have an emergency kit ready, and create a communication plan with your family.
Right, the classic earthquake survival kit. Water, food, flashlights, batteries, a first aid kit.
Exactly. And don't forget to check those smoke detectors. You never know what kind of chain reaction these events might trigger.
Okay, noted. But honestly, this whole oarfish thing makes me want to move to the middle of the desert, far away from any fault lines and creepy fish.
Well, even in the desert, you're still dealing with sandstorms and scorpions. Mother Nature has a way of keeping things interesting no matter where you go.
True that. Okay, so we've got our earthquake kits, our communication plans, and our newfound respect for the power of nature. But what about the bigger picture? This whole oarfish saga feels like it's telling us something even deeper, something about our relationship with the planet.
I agree. Maybe the oarfish is a symbol of how little we truly understand the forces at play on our planet. We like to think we're in control, but sometimes nature reminds us that we're just along for the ride.
And maybe it's a reminder to pay attention to the signs, to respect the power of the natural world, and to be prepared for the unexpected.
Well said. And remember, even if the science behind the oarfish connection is still murky, there's no harm in being prepared. After all, it's better to be safe than sorry.
Totally agree. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We've explored the legends, the science, and the potential risks. But what does it all mean? What can we learn from this creepy, enigmatic creature from the deep?
I think the oarfish is more than just a fish. It's a symbol of the mysteries that still lie hidden in our oceans. And its appearance, whether a harbinger of doom or simply a reflection of the Earth's constant changes, is a call to action.
A call to what? To run for the hills, stock up on canned goods, build an underground bunker.
Well, not necessarily. But maybe a call to pay closer attention to our planet, to be more aware of the forces at play, and to be prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws our way.
So it's not about living in fear, but about living in awareness and respect for the natural world.
Exactly. We can't control earthquakes or tsunamis, but we can control how we respond to them. We can be prepared, we can be resilient, and we can learn from the messages that nature sends our way.
Okay, I'm feeling a little less freaked out and a little more empowered now. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I have one last question. What's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this episode?
I want our listeners to remember that the oarfish, this creature that seems so alien and otherworldly, is a part of our planet just like us. It's a reminder that we're all connected from the deepest trenches of the ocean to the highest mountain peaks.
Yeah, it's like a cosmic wake-up call, reminding us that we're not separate from nature. We're a part of it. And what happens in one part of the system affects us all.
Exactly. The oarfish is a symbol of the interconnectedness of life on Earth, a reminder that what we do to our planet, we do to ourselves.
So it's not just about respecting the oarfish or the ocean. It's about respecting the entire web of life, the delicate balance that keeps our planet thriving.
Precisely. We need to shift our perspective from one of dominance over nature to one of stewardship, of responsibility for the well-being of our planet and all its inhabitants.
Okay, I'm getting chills again. But this time, it's not fear. It's inspiration. The oarfish, this creature that once represented doom and destruction, is now a symbol of hope and interconnectedness.
And that's the power of knowledge, of understanding. When we learn more about the world around us, we can shift our perspective, overcome our fears, and embrace the beauty and complexity of life on Earth.
So let's recap, shall we? We've got this giant creepy fish that lives in the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean. It's got a spooky reputation as a harbinger of doom, and there might actually be some truth to that, but it's also a reminder that we're all connected and that we need to take better care of our planet.
You nailed it. The oarfish is a symbol of the mysteries of the deep, the power of nature, and the interconnectedness of life. It's a creature that inspires awe, fear, and ultimately a call to action.
And on that note of awe and action, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive into the world of the oarfish.
I agree. It's been a thrilling ride. We've explored the legends, the science, and the deeper meaning behind this enigmatic creature.
And hopefully we've inspired our listeners to learn more about the amazing world around us, to face their fears, and to become better stewards of our planet.
Remember, folks, knowledge is power, and curiosity is the key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe.
So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep listening to The Deep Dive.